Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today I'll be discussing pure bhakti today, pure devotional service. So please join us for little Harinam. Hare Krishna. Krishna. Please join us for Mangalacharan prayers. Hare Krishna. Please join us for Mangalacharan prayers. We'll say it together. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenataranam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing pure devotional service, pure bhakti. And there's a beautiful verse that's given in the Shastras. And it is also in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami. When he received instructions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he received this verse. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anukulena Krishna anushilanam bhaktir uttama. So what is uttam bhakti, pure devotion service? That definition is given here. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Not having any abhilasha would have been anya abhilasha shunyam. But this is anya abhilashita shunyam. Shita is when a devotee feels there is danger coming over them, then they take shelter of the Lordship. So that's why it's Shita, not Abhilasha. So Anyabhilashita versus Anyabhilasha, they have two different meanings. And if it was Anyabhilasha, means there is no desire altogether. However, Anyabhilashita refers to one of the limb of surrender, Sharanagati. So that is that any time a devotee feels danger coming on themselves, on oneself, so they take shelter of Lord Krishna. Now there are various examples given in Krishna Leela in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When the Vidyadhar, who had been cursed to be a snake, he was engulfing Nand Baba, Nand Maharaj, when they were on, they had gone to Devi Dham where, Shivratri time. So at night he was sleeping and there was a snake trying to engulf Nand Maharaj. At that time, Nand Maharaj called out to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please surrender, please save me. I'm a soul surrendered to you." And at that time, Lord Krishna touched his toe, and just by the touch of Lord Krishna's toe, the living entity gave up. The Vidyadhara, he gave up the body of the snake, and he appeared in his form as Vidyadhara, and he revealed himself. So this is where a devotee who's pure devotee of the Lord, even a pure devotee surrenders to Lord when there is any kind of anxiety. So first of all, there is no anxiety. But if there appears to be an apparent anxiety, a devotee takes shelter of Lord Shri Krishna. And how does he take shelter? Anyabhilashita shunyam. Only in those conditions. Otherwise, there is no personal desire. Rather, every activity, all prescribed duties and all activities of a pure devotee are dovetail in serving Lord Krishna. So here, we also see from Srila Prabhupada's life examples when he was carrying out the instructions of his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Swami Prabhupada. His instruction was to spread this knowledge in the West. Srila Prabhupada took this journey in 1965 from India, coming on a cargo ship to West. And when he was coming, he had 2 heart attacks. And he was praying to Krishna. And then in his dream, he saw that Lord Krishna, in his sleep, he saw that Lord Krishna is the one rowing his boat, giving him assurance that he will take him across. And Srila Prabhupada also showed by his mood as how he is a perfect instrument in service of his spiritual master and Lord Shri Krishna. In his poem he writes, "O Lord, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance." So as a puppet, We are always dancing in the clutches of Maya, but a pure devotee is willingly dancing, be an instrument in the service of Lord Krishna and his spiritual master. And so from his life example, we see how Anyabhilashita manifests that very, meaning. Jnana karna viranavritam, not being covered by the fruitive activities, karma, kand, right? And jnana, speculative knowledge, not being covered by the speculative knowledge. Speculative knowledge is where people are, doing, they are creating hypotheses and so forth. So there are three ways Praman comes, which is Pratyaksh Praman, then Anuman Praman. So three ways we can derive evidence, and Shabda Praman. So first one is what we see from our eyes, from our senses, whatever we perceive. Now our senses are imperfect. We have propensity to cheat. So these are the 4 defects I am listing. Propensity to cheat, propensity to be delusioned, and then we have imperfect senses, propensity to cheat, propensity to be delusioned, and one more. And because the senses are imperfect, Pratyaksh Praman cannot be good. Srila Prabhupada explains. And Anuman Praman is hypothesis. This is what I think, so how can that be true? We cannot rely on that. So we take Shabda Praman, which is in the Vedas. And so all these Vedas means knowledge. So Ved, Puran, all these have come from, all the Shruti Shastra has manifested from the Supreme Lord. So we accept them. Yet at the same time, a devotee looks at the Shastras with 2 different perspectives. Faith is of 2 kinds here. So we are covering, 11th canto. And this is where these 2 variations have been identified. First is, we have firm faith that all Vedas are coming from Lord Shri Krishna, so all are respectable. So we should not blaspheme any of the scriptures. Second aspect is, yet at the same time, we should adopt the injunctions from these scriptures as goal of life, which is meant to directly serve the ultimate absolute truth. So we want to take the ultimate path. And Srila Prabhupada expresses this as taking an elevator. So yes, you have to go to the top floor to meet the CEO or president of the company, and you can either take staircase or you can take the elevator. An elevator, you just press the button, you're directly approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the staircase process has, through Varnashram Dharma, Karma Kand, Gyan Kand, Ashtanga Yoga, and Ashtanga Yogi, and so forth. So you are going through all these different stages. And this is so troublesome. It requires so much time and energy. So why not take the simple process? Now somebody could say, how come this process is simple? Because Lord Krishna, he is known as Madan Mohana. So he can even enchant Madan, the Cupid, right? Kamdev. He can enchant Kamdev. Yet, Bhakti Devi, an expansion of Radharani, she can enchant. So Radharani, she is known as Madan Mohan Mohini. So he enchants Madan Mohan, who is the enchanter of Madan Cupid, Kamdev. So she can attract Lord Shri Krishna immediately. Now the important thing is not covered. Anukulena Krishna Anushilenam. Anukulena Krishna means as Lord Krishna desires. So when we serve our Master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, we want to serve him as he desires, not whimsically. That's why it is said that if people try to serve using their own manifested speculative processes without referring to Shruti, Purana Adi and Pancharatra Vidhi, without following the processes given in the scriptures, then it is only going to cause utpad, right? It is only troublesome, it is only going to cause disturbance. So we should follow the process. And the process starts with Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya ubdekshyanti taj jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So here, the process is, as per the process, one has to take shelter of a spiritual master. Surrender and aspire for a bona fide spiritual master and engage in the process. Now you would be interested, like, why is this so important? Because we constantly need guidance in our life. And this guidance enables us to progress easily in the right direction. And in the Shastras it is said, Brahma bhamite kauna bhagyavana jiva kuru Krishna prasad paye bhakti lata bija. So we want to get this seed of devotion, right? And we are wandering in this material world, Brahma bhamite. We are wandering in this material universe. Kauna bhagyavana jiva. And a fortunate soul. By the mercy of Krishna, Guru Krishna prasad paye. So by the mercy of Krishna, his representative appears in our life as a bona fide spiritual master. And when we take shelter and take initiation from the spiritual master, we get Guru Krishna Prasad. Prasad is mercy of the Lord. Bhakti Lata, Bij. So we get this seed of devotion. And to be able to get the benefit from this seed of devotion, we have to make sure that our heart, where we are going to sow this seed in the soil of our heart, it is in the right fertile position, right? So we have to focus on developing qualities that are appropriate, anukulena Krishna. So we have to follow the process to make sure that the soil is fertile. We are taking care of this nice garden, which is our heart, and we want to churn it like sweet butter so that Krishna would want to steal it. So we want him to steal our heart and churn it like butter. Yet at the same time, if it's a garden, we want to sow this Bhakti Lata Bij, and we want to regularly water it, right? Provide it nourishment. And that is very simple process in devotional service, in pure bhakti. All we need to do is raise our hand and call out for the Lordship. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we take shelter of a spiritual master, then Anushilana, following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So that is following the instructions of previous acharyas, following, the processes they have laid down. They have already laid down. So in material world, which is a relative world, and a spiritual world, which is an absolute world, we are going to look at some analogies. So here, in the material world, when you go out for mountaineering, let's just take it for an example. You are starting from the bottom, right? That's why in the corporate world, it's a corporate ladder. So you are starting from the bottom, you are going up. Now that's a very troublesome process. Same thing happens with Karma Kand. Vedas, they talk about these fruitive rituals. And you go through fruitive rituals, but that is not the goal. The idea is people is having is, we want to remove our unhappiness in this life, and we want to have unlimited pleasures that we want to enjoy. And from that perspective, they approach Vedas. So it is not the Vedas are wrong, it is our approach to Vedas that needs to be corrected. That's why Vyasadeva, after having written the Vedas, he was not fully satisfied. And Devashinara reveals that actually you have given the path for which people will more be oriented towards, fruitive rituals. They will engage in these rituals to rise to higher planetary systems, to get to better conditions. And yet at the same time, it is not taking them out easily because of the focus will get diverted to enjoyment in this material world, because that's the initial thought of living entity. Want to lord over this material world. So with that, but at the same time, even if you reach the heavenly planets, even if you reach and get a demigod position, even there, one is constantly facing the instability, the anxiety is there. Why? Because they constantly see the rivalry from other people who are at equal positions, looking for that name, fame and glories. That is there. And then they are always feeling, envy coming from the demons and other, opponent parties. So wherever you go in this material world, you'll always find opponent parties. That's there. And there is no sense of getting engaged. Rather, that is the relative platform, and where you are going for mountaineering, you are starting from the bottom and trying to go up. But wherever you go, it will be troublesome journey going up. Even better is the spiritual journey. Why? Because instead of starting from bottom and going up, actually you have, coming from Krishna, various acharyas at different stages on this mountain. So they are actually sending you rope in the form of the instructions, in the form of scriptures, in the form of the direction. And all you have to do is, take on to that rope. Pick up Srimad Bhagavatam, pick up Bhagavad Gita as it is. Pick up Srimad Bhagavatam and study them. So these are already the various ropes that we can hold on to and quickly come. And on top of that, when we are going on this journey, it's always good to have association of devotees. That is paramount. So when we are doing it alone and trying to climb ourselves, it may become very boring, very troublesome, even for the short distance sometimes. Then we need encouragement. So just like a mountaineer, he goes on mountaineering not with bicyclists or with army people. They go with other mountaineers. So that together they are encouraging each other. So similarly, in devotional service, in Bhakti Yoga, we are doing it in congregation. So that's why Sankirtan Yajna is the Yajna for this age. And we do it together, climbing at different steps. Now you would say, okay, what are the various steps? So Srila Rupa Goswami reveals this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1, 4, 15 and 16 verse, the science of devotional service. So it is the secret being revealed of Bhakti Yoga as what are these steps that one has to take. So let's look at this. Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sango Atha Bhajana Kriya Tato Anartha Nivrati Syat Tato Nishta Ruchis Tatha Atha Shaktis Tato Bhaves Tata Premabhyu Dhanchati Sadhakayam Ayam Premaha Pradbhuru Bhave Bhavet Kramaha. So I know it's a very complicated, very long verse, but we'll make it very simple. Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha. So first one should have faith, right? If you don't have faith, then you cannot be on this path. Now how does faith comes? That's actually given earlier by Srila Rupa Goswami, that pious activities enable us to have faith. When we follow the Shastra, when we follow the scriptures, and we perform pious activities, and sometimes they are performed unknowingly. Just like, sometimes devotees, they engage people, in different activities. When sometimes people come to the temple, they are engaged in, hey, would you like to help us get some of the vegetables? Hey, would you like to help us serve prasadam outside to the devotees? Hey, would you like to just come and chant with us? And when people are chanting, it's obvious. Others will join in for chanting, right? Everybody joins in for arti. Everyone is glorifying Lord Krishna, Shishi Radha Madan Mohanji, Shishi Sitaram Lakshmi Hanuman, Shishi Gauratai. Everyone is glorifying them. So when everyone is calling out to them and chanting, even unknowingly, even the children, they are like dancing and they're swaying together. So that's where it all starts. Everybody unknowingly is performing devotional service. And that is a karma, a very high level. So we'll discuss the different level of activities. But here, following in the footsteps, and we are doing congregational chanting, a yajna for this age, when we are doing congregational chanting. And so everyone is getting sukriti and everyone is getting attracted to Lord Krishna. Why? Because when we are singing for the pleasure of Lord Krishna. And even if we are singing sometimes for our own pleasure, unknowingly it is pleasing Lord Krishna, right? Because it's a direct prayer. Oh Srimati Radharani Om Mother Hara, please engage me in your and Lord Krishna's service. Your husband, Lord Krishna's service. So we are praying, calling it out to her. And mother is more compassionate than father. So she becomes, she invokes us, she blesses us. So now we get Shraddha. With Shraddha, we come in Sadhu Sangha and the association of devotees, exalted Vaishnavas. So when we come in the association of devotees, then, of course, we take shelter of a spiritual master. So that's the process. Tad vidhi pranipatina. So when we follow the process and take shelter of a spiritual master, we become disciple of our spiritual master. A disciple, what's the definition of a disciple? Disciple is one who is ready to be disciplined, right? So we, realizing that we have been wandering in this material world and now we have taken shelter of a spiritual master who can guide us. So it is not a fashion guru that we are taking. We are taking a guru so that we can learn. When we go to school,
and go to a classroom for a teacher. We are not just going to the classroom that, okay, we just have to sit in this classroom. We are actually looking for the teacher who's going to impart his knowledge to us so that we can learn and we can follow. So when the life's exam comes at the last moment of life, we are able to pass the exam. That is an important aspect. So you are preparing to purify our existence. Yet at the same time, from relative perspective, we are looking at the current life. And Srila Prabhupada said that this life itself, we have sufficient abilities that we can cross over, irrespective of where we are. All we have to do is take to the chanting of the holy name and following the instruction of our spiritual master. So where we have such a simple process, we start engaging in bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya. So it has been reflected many places as worship. Yet bhaj is very big in its own concept. Bhaj refers to, again, many activities which is related to devotional service. So bhajana kriya, here, Srila Rupa Goswami refers, and then in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada says, worshipping the deities. And even when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna says that one who studies in Bhagavad Gita is worshipping me by his intelligence. And intelligence is above the senses. So why not, take to reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. All this wonderful literature is actually, when we read them, and we read them with faith, with devotion, with gratitude, then we are worshipping the Lordships, with our intelligence. And so, bhajana kriya. Another aspect that happens with bhajana kriya is when we are engaged in bhajana kriya, these are purifying activities, right? In the material world, when we are looking for goals, when we are passing our school, our academic system in the society is oriented towards getting us a good job. And that is only to meet the need of the body. Eat, sleep, mate, defend. While bhajana kriya is an activity, it's a karma. So there are three types of karmas. Karma, vikarma, and akarma. So karma is pious activity as per the scriptures, right? Good activities, pious activities, prescribed duties, also referred to as. So that leads to, sukriti. So we get pious reactions because of that. Then impious activities is sinful activities. So when we get too much bewildered and we try to cut corners and try to use our speculative mindset to somehow acquire wealth or acquire fruitive results, then that leads to sinful reactions like stealing, cheating, and so forth. So they lead to sinful reactions. And we have to now suffer the sinful reactions. Akarma is devotional service, bhajana kriya. So when we engage in devotional service, there is no reaction. There is only pleasing of Lord Krishna. So there is no reaction, yet at the same time we come closer to Lord Krishna. So these two, pious activities and impious activities, both of them lead to us getting still stuck in the cycle of birth and death. Now you would say, wait a minute, if I have been good, why am I stuck in the cycle of birth and death? Because now there is reaction, and now you have to have that reaction. So for the karma cycle to finish, you have to take birth again if it has not finished, if you have not had the reaction. So there are two accounts. One is, pious activity reactions. So sukriti related karmas, reactions that you are waiting to enjoy, and there is sinful reactions that you have to suffer. And these two accounts, if they are not nil, then you have to take birth again. So you are caught in this cycle of birth and death. However, you actually have a great blessing because of that third account, which is always nil because there is no reaction, but you always have, your account continues to grow. But that is to, part of your spiritual journey, as part of your spiritual journey. And this has enough potency that all these seeds and, coming from these sinful or pious acts, all those reactions, those seeds get fried. So now you don't have to take birth in the cycle of birth and death. Rather, you can escape out. And that is the great potency. So when we follow the acharyas, when we follow the orders of the spiritual master and engage in bhajan kriya, what happens? Anartha nivritti happens. All the anarthas, they are driven away. So, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsara, these are the 6 kind of main anarthas, and then they are derived anarthas. So, lust, anger, greed, delusion, madness, and bewilderment and envy. So, all these are anarthas, and these anarthas cause us to be caught up in this material world. But and they are like weeds in our garden, where we have sowed this Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of devotion. So when these weeds are uprooted, it is very fertile ground for us to continue to water. Now this reminds me of a very wonderful story of how and when we should try to curb. So there was a rich man and he had a son, but because of the opulence he had, a lot of wealth and a lot of servants and all, he saw that his son was getting wrong kind of association and he was developing bad habits. So he approached his spiritual master and said, please help me. I want my son, not to get into this wrong company, not fall into wrong association, and he should give up all these bad habits. So he said, okay, send him to me. So, the rich man's son, he visits his father's spiritual master. His father's spiritual master is walking in the garden, and he points to a very small grass, He says, those grass stems, can you pull them out? The boy goes and he easily picks it out. Then he says, okay, there is a very small plant, can you pick it out? The boy goes and with his index finger and thumb just puts it and picks it out very easily. Then he goes to a little bigger plant. He says, can you pull it out? So this time the boy, who was about 10 years of age, he had to use both his hands, but he was able to pull it out. Then he goes to a bush. He shows him a bush. He says, can you pull it out? So the boy, he has to put all his strength, but he is able to pull it out. He's determined. So of course, as we are saying that he's pulling it out, the servants are planting them back. So there is no loss of any plant life. Then he points him to a tree. He says, can you pull it out? The boy looks at his father's spiritual master and he says, okay, let me try. He tries very hard. He's not able to. So he says, what do you learn? So the boy says, the more grown it is, the stronger it is hard to pull out. But the important message the spiritual master shares with him is that if something is in the early stage, it is easily to nub it. So if we are seeing, we should be constantly, administering and observing the garden, in our heart, that the soil in our heart is filled with all good things, right? All good nutrients, and no weed is growing. And as soon as we see a weed, even a negative thought, we should nub it right there. Because by doing that, by plucking it out, we are making sure that it's not able to, grow its roots deeper. Because if it grows its roots deeper and we ignore it, right? This is what happens. When we ignore it, it grows deeper, it grows big like a tree. Then it is going to drive away all the nutrition from the Bhakti Lata and will be very hard to take out. So this is Anartha Nivritti, right? And then when anarthas are gone, then Nishtha. Nishtha is Shraddha but firm, stronger Shraddha. So stronger faith develops. And because of the stronger faith, we start developing Ruchi, we start developing our interest in devotional service. And it is said that it is performed susukham, in a very pleasing manner, devotional service is performed. So when we have, from Nishtha comes Ruchis, and Ruchi, because of that interest, we start to have more reliance in devotional service. Our asakti, asakta means we are more dependent on it. It is becoming part of our daily activities. We cannot live without it. If we don't perform devotional service even for one day, it appears like a grave loss. Just like a stock market broker, if he falls sick for a day, he is lamenting it for many days afterwards. It's because it's a great loss. So similarly, we devotees feel that it's a great loss to not having performed our devotional service. And so Why? Because we are building this attraction. So we are getting this attraction, bhav starts developing. Our Bhakti Lata with constant chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It starts growing and it's penetrating through the layers of this material universe, heading towards Goloka. And then finally, when this bhav becomes very strong, concentrated, it takes the form of prema, love of Godhead. So that is the goal of life. And this Bhakti Lata Bij rests at the lotus feet of Shri Radha Krishna. And then it bears these fruits and flowers and fruits, of course, first flowers, then fruits. And what happens in the process? That at the prema stage, one is constantly, eternally engaged in devotional service. So, with love, with affection, with gratitude that, oh my dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I feel transcendental bliss in serving you. Because that's our true nature. Jivera Saruphoya Krishnera Nityadas. So this process of devotional service, there are 9 processes. Prahlad Maharaj reveals in the 7th canto to Hiranyakashipu, his father. What is he saying? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Shravanam, hearing. So just by hearing, you can attain perfection, like Parikshit Maharaj. For 7 days, 7 nights, he was constantly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami. And just by doing Shravanam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, he attains perfection. Kirtanam, Shukdev Goswami, just by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, for 7 days, 7 nights, he attains perfection. Smaranam, remembering. Prahlad Maharaj, he attains perfection by constantly remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by remembrance, he attains perfection. And then, Pada Sevanam, Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi Devi, she attains perfection just by serving the Lord. So we always see in Vaikuntha, whenever there is image of Vaikuntha comes, we always see from the scriptures that she is serving the Lord, he's pressing his feet, he's serving him, and when Bhrigu, he went to Vaikuntha, Lord's head was resting in Goddess Lakshmi's lap when she was, serving him. So it is very nicely given that she is constantly serving Lord Krishna. So if you have any wealth, believe me, this is given in Shastras again and again. Lakshmi is very chanchala, flickering in nature. So if you want Lakshmi to stay, then you have to keep Lord in the center. She is very much willing to serve Lord Krishna. She is eager to serve, and this is where she is happiest. So when we have deities, when we serve deities, when we serve even picture of Lord Krishna, if you don't have deities, you can have pictures and you can serve, or use whatever facilities you have in serving, even to the picture is not different. So we serve them with that mood that, oh Lord, please accept this with love and devotion. Love and devotion is also very important. And so, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam. Archanam is deity worship. So by worshipping deity, Prithu Maharaj, he attained perfection. And even though he was trying to perform 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas, the 100th one was always interrupted by Indra, the king of the demigods, because he was fearing if he completes 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas, then he will become Indra. He will take my position. So even in the heavenly planet, this constant fear, anxiety is there. So at that time, Prithu Maharaj, on the instruction of Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, he refrains. So his 99 was much greater than 100 because it pleased Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna was pleased by this attitude, serving attitude, that he is obeying everyone and not causing any anxiety. So just by doing Archanam, by deity worship, he attains perfection. Vandanam, Akrura attains perfection by singing glories, the prayers. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prayer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. A prayer where we are requesting, we are praying with love and devotion for Shri Radha Madan Mohan to please engage us in their service. And we are going through Mother Radha. So, Dasyam, Hanumanji attains perfection by serving the Lordship. And then Sakyam, Arjuna attains perfection by being friend to the Lord. and Atmanivedam, surrendering everything, whatever we have, in the service of Lordship. And here Daityaraj Bali Maharaj is glorified. He attains perfection by surrendering everything, including himself, his very body, in service of Lord Vamandev. When Lord Vamandev asked for 3 steps of land, and the first step he crossed the whole of earth. Second step he crossed to the end of the universe. So he took away everything that Bali Maharaj had. And then he's saying, where should I put my third step? At that time, Bali Maharaj is to glorify, when he's asking, is to glorify Bali Maharaj, who is so tolerant. His tolerance is glorified. He says, my dear Lord, please place your third step on my body, on my head, because this body still belongs to me. And so he is glorified. Hare Krishna. So again, we should take to devotional service. It is an easy way to attract Lord Krishna. So, together, please start chanting the holy name, because that is where it all starts. And the journey is to attain love of Godhead. I'll quickly cover one quick story where this beggar goes to king. He wants to see gold. So king is surprised. Then he asks the treasurer to show this beggar to the treasury, open the door and show him. And when the beggar goes and the treasurer opens the treasury and shows him the gold, the beggar is shocked. He sees that the steps he had taken were also made of gold, but he did not know that. When he knew what the gold is. So similarly, when we engage in chanting of the holy name, we are performing devotional service, and after we attain love of Godhead, what do? We continue to engage in devotional service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is, today we are discussing, this is where we discuss pure bhakti, pure devotional service of Lord Shri Krishna, and how we can simply by taking to the chanting, taking shelter of his bona fide spiritual master, and engaging in whatever capabilities and dovetailing all our prescribed duties, all our activities to please Lord Krishna, we can attain perfection in this very life. Hare Krishna.